Hello and welcome back to my stamp studio. And today it's another Monday. I'm going to share a non-traditional stamp set and create a holiday card for you. So today I'm going to use the Celebrate Sunflowers, which at first glance obviously does not appear to be a Christmas card stamp set, and I would agree. I couldn't really find a way to use these sunflowers. But if you remember right, the Celebrate Sunflowers coordinates with a beautiful sunflower dies. Okay, so I saw this little fine line die here, and this jumped out at me. And then I also think that these little sprigs here would work well in a card used through like metallic silver paper or even some green to give you kind of a little sprig look. I opted not to use those with this card. I also think that these little leaves would be cute too, tucked behind something, okay? But for this card, I just opted to use this beautiful sunflower die here, okay? So I got a piece of Whisper white cardstock. I ran it through my Stampin' Up! Die cut and emboss machine, and I got this, okay? I also took some of our silver metallic cardstock and did another one with this die, and I ended up with this. And I cut it in half, just like that, okay? So I'm going to use, because I have silver here, I don't think anything goes better with silver for the holidays than Night of Navy. I pulled out Night of Navy cardstock here, and we're going to start building our card. I have a piece of Whisper white cardstock that measures 3 3/4 by 5, and I ran it through the French Parisian embossing folder, which I have kind of fallen in love with again. I had it in my stash and I haven't used it for a while, and then I pulled this out, and this is gorgeous to use on holiday cards. So if you have this folder, pull this out and use it on your holiday cards. It works really, really well. So I went ahead and put some dimensionals on the back side of this here, and we'll get this attached to our card base next. Now I also, just because I wanted this to have a little more bling and have a little more of a holiday look, I took a piece of our silver metallic cardstock and I ran that through the embossing folder. Now, as I was doing this, I thought, gosh, a whole piece of this would be gorgeous as a background on a card. But for this card, I thought it was a little much to do that. So I just did a little strip. This measures, I think, about 2 inches here. And it will go top to bottom here, and I have a little bit of it hanging over, but that's okay. I'm just going to center it here, just like that, okay? Now, I'm going to take my white sunflower that I cut out. I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the silver one. I'm just going to take my snips here and just cut right down the center of it so that I have 2, okay? Then I'm going to take my multi-purpose glue and put just a little bit of glue right around the center here. And you know what? I jumped ahead of myself. I want the silver ones first. When I grabbed that, I thought that was wrong. I'm going to do the silver one first, and my rationale behind that is I want that white one to really show on top of the silver, okay? I'm going to place the silver one back behind the foil piece here, and notice how I'm sticking it in so that there is none of this center sunflower showing. Then I'm going to come down here on this other side, and I'm going to pop that in the same manner, okay, so that that center is not showing. But I have these beautiful silver overhanging here. Now, I thought that was pretty that way, but I also wanted to just give it, again, step it up for the holidays and give it just a little bit more flair even. So I came in here, and that's why I decided to do a white cutout as well. And I just stuck that in there in the same way, not directly over the silver one, but actually down from it just a little bit there. And then you can see what we're going to do with this one. Same thing over on this side. Just until that center of the sunflower is hidden underneath that silver strip in the middle, okay? Isn't that pretty and very holiday-ish? And I think all this needs is a greeting. So I went ahead and I stamped the Merry Christmas that comes in the poinsettia petals stamp set. I'm going to pop 2 dimensionals on the back side of this, and I'm only going to put them out here on the ends. That way this can overlay all that center nicely. Go ahead and put that on there like that. Now, I thought this just needed a little bit something else here on the ends. So I'm pulling in the frosted and clear epoxy droplets that come in the catalog. These I love any time of year, but they are fabulous to use at Christmas time. It's actually a little set of 96, and they come in 2 different sizes here. And you can see, I think, on the camera that one is very shiny and one has more of a little frosted look to it. So obviously they're really fun to use at holidays, and I like to mix and match them a little bit. So I'm going to pull in my, actually the big ones you can just pick up. Just like that. I'm going to place a large frosted one there and a large silver sparkly one there, and then I'm going to come and pull with my pick a tool the frosted one. Looks like my greeting might be just a little bit off center. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to change this up just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and pick this sparkly one up and just move it over to the right a little bit there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and grab a small sparkly one, and I think it's okay to do it just in 3. I originally had planned on putting a frosty one over here so that it was 2 on each side and be equal, but you know what? Sometimes things don't work out. You change it up, and I think that looks just fine to have 3 there. So here is another Christmas card idea with a stamp set from my stash. Celebrate Sunflowers, which you might not consider a holiday set, but remember, a lot of these stamp sets bundle with some beautiful dies, and think to pull from some of those and see how you can use them for holiday cards. So thank you for joining me. Hope you are well and have a great week. We'll see you next Monday.